Hello everyone and welcome to the judging of the UHB contest which has recently happened within the Hermitcraft community. I'm joined here by Mr. Mumbo Jumbo
Hello, hello, hello.
and Mr. Joe Hills.
Howdy, Asuma. Judgmental Joe here.
Judgmental Joe, perfect name for today's events, I guess. So you two are probably as clueless as I am as to what actually the UHB is. It's the Ultimate Hermit build-off. It's a group event that happened recently. It's a mix of a UHC and a building competition, and that's about as much as I know right now.
Y-
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Yeah. But it sounds cool.
it sounds amazingly cool, but there are judges required in order to determine who is the winner. So no one knows who's won yet, and it has been trusted to us to use our opinions, I guess, and judge each of the builds. So
If ignorance leads to impartiality, then I'll be as impartial as possible.
That sounds
I will
good.
nod and agree and pretend I know what you just said.
Yeah, that's
Joe
what I
Hills.
was literally just thinking.
It was too smart for my brain.
Yeah. Maybe that's a bit concerning considering, yeah, we're meant to be judges. We should be understanding this sort of thing, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, we were kind of like the only people around. All the smarty pants already played the game, so
Yeah.
we what they got. All right, so if we fly up into the sky, you guys in game mode 1 or 0?
No, game mode 0.
Okay, well let me do a game mode 1. Oh, there we go, both at the same time. Awesome,
We've got it sorted.
excellent. So this is like the central area of the game. I believe like players had to come out here and scavenge for resources, and then there's
Right.
these blocks at each end. They're clay, they're colourful. They've got a button on them, and they teleport to each of the areas. So there's 5 different teams in total, and they've created 5 builds. And what we have to do
Right.
is go and judge them. So the way we're going to do it is we're all going to record together, openly talk about our opinions and stuff on the builds. We
Yep.
can individually track like what we think at a certain point. If the first thing you see is a 10 out of 10 and the next one's better, then you should be able to judge or sorry change your score. So then we can come back at the end and then we can tally up the scores and average them out, something like that, and then we'll find out who's potentially won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it should be simple. Should we start off with the blue one since this is here?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Who wants to do the honors?
I'll let you do. Oh,
Oh.
whoever did that, it
Okay.
teleports all of us.
All right,
Joe's,
nice.
Joe's now stuck underground. There we
I
go.
fell in a hole. I'm assuming that's a trap of some sort.
Yeah, deduct points for that one, I'd say, Joe. I'd say, it has to be done.
It's a judgment trap. Are we gonna like? Oh, look at these chests. They are a bit. They're slightly organised. Do we have to judge them on how organised their chests are? I mean.
Yeah,
oh,
this enchanting table's not even in with the group. I mean, look, they've just...
Yeah, just left it on its lonesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I do appreciate the matching beds, though. They could have chosen any color, but they chose the same one as their clay teleporters. That I
That's
think
very
has
true.
value.
That brings a little bit
That's
of
very true, very
consistency to
true.
it. So something strikes me straight away is that this build isn't really like rounded up for approaching it. It makes sense once you're standing here. I don't know if that's something that should be a thing or not, but if we see some other builds where like the outsides have been rounded off, if that makes sense, do
Yeah,
you feel like that
yeah.
should be important?
Yeah, I see this is like a Hollywood movie set where they've only bothered with like the external walls that you can see, and then everything
Yeah.
else is just...
Joe,
Yeah,
I
even
think
like
I think
the
we'll let
outside
that
of
one
the
go.
houses.
They had to do this in survival, and it says movie set piece, and once you're standing in it, it feels pretty amazing.
Oh, okay. They've kind of got away with it there if they say movie set piece then. Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
There
That's
are,
one of those
however,
things.
some like open areas where you can just sort of see the void beyond.
Well, that's
true, yeah.
traditional. They're gonna put in some CGI Godzilla or something back there
Yeah,
anyway.
that's
So
true.
Yeah.
I'm
It is
liking
cool,
this
though. I
burned
like the
down
way that
bit
it's
here.
done.
This is cool.
I just
I'm
realized it says "Do not leave the center road." Whoops.
Oh well, there you go. So you're supposed to stay here to witness it all. I'm liking it. I feel like there's a story here that isn't being told.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it's
You know,
all good. We can see some cranes. Something's been burnt down. It feels like it needed something to tie it together and make a little bit of sense. But otherwise, I'm really loving the build palette, the way the buildings look.
Yeah. No, it's a nice build. I mean, this is... Yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, I'm liking the way that the lights are kind of hanging down. It looks good. It's a cool build. We got the nice cobblestone usage. It's kind of nice and ruined, and I'm always a big fan of ruined areas.
Yeah.
So that it definitely gets bonus points for me there, and the use of fire and everything.
I like that they
It's cool.
collected like dead bushes and ferns as well, because this is all done
Yeah.
in survival, so that's pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, they've actually had to think about it. That's one of those things that you haven't. It's not like you've gone into creative mode and gone, oh, I could place up a dead bush here. They've actually had to go out and gather those up. So that's got to be worth something. And the mossy can you make mossy You can make mossy
Yeah, you can
cobblestone
use
now, can't you?
vines to make it. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I've
I was
done a
gonna
little bit
say.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a good feel from this, but I feel like I'll know more about this one when I see some of the others, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was thinking
I'm
we
with you
should
on that one.
reserve the numerical judgment. Like, let's not give the numbers for each at the like when we first look at them.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that now. I might take like the occasional note, but yeah, should we go visit the next one then?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. I think
Okay.
I've seen enough of this one. I can't think of anything else that I want to look at. Maybe get like one last look. There is a diamond horse out here, which is
Diamond horse.
yeah. I think you might have escaped
Oh.
potentially.
I imagine
So
they
that's
got
good.
this in the overworld and brought it back with them. Gave it a home,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
residency.
See, that could be
You're-
really dramatic in the film, though. I could see Nicolas Cage riding in on this pack horse or whatever,
Yeah,
catching
yeah,
a
that's
child
true.
falling off a burning traffic light or something. You can
That's
do a lot
true.
with it.
That's very true. Right. So do we go back to mainland? Is that where we're
I
going?
believe
Okay.
that's the button to be pressed. Would
I'll
you like
press
to
that button.
pick where we're going next?
Right. Should we go? I would say go clockwise in case we get very confused very fast and
Yes.
forget where exactly we've been.
Okay, so that was blue first of all.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, now this is pretty cool.
Right. The first thing that I got to say I really like about this is that it attempts to take up the entirety of the space that's here, and that you can
Yeah,
approach
yeah.
it from all angles. That's cool. I'm a fan of
I
that.
mean, and to make a structure like this in like survival mode in such a kind of short space of time, to be able to pull off that well-roundedness with different things going on, like the tents out here, and then you've got the pathways
yeah.
and all the different trees and everything. That can't be sniffed at. That's pretty cool. And by the look of things, it also has an indoors. It does have an inside.
Yeah, I'm waiting to go inside. I've just seen whose area this is. I was under the impression we weren't supposed to know, but
Well,
I
don't
kind of
tell
got
us.
I kind of got a little bit of a hint at who might have been involved in this anyway. So
Well, I don't
Right,
know,
okay.
Isuma. You know, this could be like fan fiction. Maybe those signs, like if we could find a sign that says Mumbo Jumbo's tent and Joe Hill's tent, even though we didn't build it.
that's true. That's true, Joe.
True.
It
So
could be
let's not
throwing
make
us off the
assumptions.
scent. Oh
That's
wow!
true,
Look
that's
at the
true.
interior here.
Yeah, look, they've got a slaughtering table. That's so cool.
I'm really
So I
liking
thought-
this one.
I thought they'd done some redstone contraptions. I was getting a little bit excited, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
That's how you
But
win
this
over
is-
Mumbo. You know,
Yeah.
just build a dirt hut and fill it with redstone.
Oh yeah, that's always the way to go. Yeah. But no, this is super cool in here. I like it. I don't know if this piston was meant to be extended and has stopped extending, or if it's meant to be a broken part.
You are
of the
very
table.
curious with the redstone, aren't you? You
Yeah,
just
sorry,
have
I'll
to
stop
know how
talking
it
about
works. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I could see
Yeah.
it going either way.
Yeah.
Like the part where you decapitate the person or the zombie, you got to get closer. Your arm doesn't reach that far.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, I haven't really. I don't know. We'll move on from the table, I think, because we could spend the entire time talking about that. I'm liking the fact that so these pressure plates. What are these pressure plates just for decoration? Do you reckon?
Most likely.
Sorry, I'm
yeah.
gonna stop talking about redstone now. every single redstone component I see, I wonder if it does anything.
There's a sign
I
over here.
noticed
The
All
Temple
the
of the Holy
animals are
Cow
leashed up.
is what it is.
Oh, they
Oh,
also have a bunch of heads in the chest in the center.
Yeah,
here.
these give them extra points. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know if that's all of their chests. I'm told that sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. I didn't see any in the last one, but then I wasn't looking
No.
in chests or noticing them.
I like
I-
this statue over here. This is a cool
Oh
statue.
yeah, that statue was awesome. I really like a
mighty
lot of this.
Pepe.
If I could just to try and be a little bit balanced, say maybe one thing that's bad about it. I do feel like this interior, although it's fantastic, it feels a little unfinished. Like
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
the roof is a bit janky and blocky, and then this
Yeah.
bit here is fantastic, but that's kind of where it ends. There isn't a lot of other furniture.
No, it does feel like they ran out of time. In fact, in general, especially on the outside as well, kind of this back end here, it feels like they went, we need to get some, we need to place some things. So there was like a sprinkling of bushes
Yeah,
and maybe some
and
bone
grass.
meal.
But that's better than nothing, I think. But yeah, you
Yeah,
are
for
right.
sure.
But then again, they're working with limited time. I mean, none of us have played this, so we don't know what it's like to
No,
to build,
exactly.
But yeah, the statue is pretty cool as well.
Yeah. And that, like, should we take into account how difficult it is to get certain blocks? Because I feel like there was a lot of variety used in the previous one, but then we do have like observers here.
Yeah, there's
And-
observers for sure. The pistons,
Yeah.
they're not the easiest things to craft. You got to get a
No.
variety of materials together. Yeah. Yeah, I
gotta
would
say, I
personally
really like the
definitely
tent
factor that in.
Yeah.
And
What don't you
sorry,
like,
Joe?
Joe?
We interrupted
No, I
you.
was gonna say, sorry, no, I talked over you. My bad. I was saying I really like these tent flaps. Like it's such a simple detail, the way they overlap each other.
Oh, that's
But-
true.
It feels like fabric on top of fabric. It's
Yeah.
smart in a really intuitive way that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them
No,
too.
these tents are cool. And the pathway as well is well done. Even though it's only kind of dirt and different types of dirt, it looks good.
It
I like
looks
it.
really good.
I like this place. I'm impressed again.
Me
It's
too.
impressed me.
Should we go check out another one then? Back to the mainland.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So we're going
Mhm.
back to mainland.
Okay, that sends us one at a time, I believe, that way. There we go.
Yeah.
So continuing clockwise, it'll be Magenta, is that? I believe.
Yeah, Magenta, I think. I'm fairly certain. Right, ready to go, Joe?
Sure am.
Boom.
Just taking my notes.
There we go.
Ooh.
I haven't made a single note yet. I'm holding it all in memory. Now this is
No.
slightly similar to something we've already seen.
Yeah.
It's
Very
kind of like
similar.
both of them together in some ways because it's got this central corridor.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's meant to be viewed from the inside, but you know what? They actually have a full outside to it too. They have paths and stuff around the sides, which I really
is-
appreciate.
This is quite a cool one. I think this is one of those things that they obviously intended for it to be viewed from the inside, a bit like the movie set one. So it was obvious that we're meant to be viewing it from the inside. But the fact that they've actually put the effort into actually building the outside shows that that's a nice touch. And they've put a lot of effort into the outside as well. It's not like it's been slapped together in the last few minutes. There are some structures here, and it's fully well rounded. It covers pretty much every single corner. Obviously, you know, it would be nice to have like maybe a tree or two around the outside, but I can't complain too much. It looks cool.
Yeah, this side
And
here
it-
feels a little bit more complete than the opposite side, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't have seen this
Yeah.
side as much as you're coming from that corner, so that kind of makes sense. What is this
Yeah.
supposed to be in the middle though? Like, because there's like a face, and then the water
Yeah.
flows down. Oh, there might be something down here to look at.
Oh, that's also. Oh, this is neat.
It's like a
So
cave
is it
that
just like a
leads to the
cave?
void.
That's always
Well,
good.
aren't all caves that spew forth from the mouths of weird ruined demon sculptures, ultimately going to lead us into the void?
most likely, I guess. It will
Yeah,
lead us into some
this-
sort of peril.
Yeah, I personally, this kind of reminds me of something from like Indiana Jones or something.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
has that sort of.
Tomb Raider
that
type
sort of vibe.
vibes. I like
Yeah.
that the faces continue on each of the walls. It does. Yeah, this feels super like Indiana Jones Tomb Raider-y over here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very cool. It's
I
very,
also
very
like
cool.
these walkways on the side here. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we're flying around a lot, but it feels like this is meant to be viewed from the ways that people would walk through it.
Yeah.
It feels like a real space.
Yes.
It's walking through and behind the pillars. It gives you like a real good sense of what the build is like. It's really cool actually. I wouldn't mind building something like this myself. This is
I'm now like really impressed with that they've had to come up with this sort of on the spot a bit. Like
yeah.
this is done entirely while you're recording, and because I don't think any of it is edited, it's all just live recording whilst playing, and then you got to go out and
Yeah.
gather the materials as well. It's pretty like ambitious. I really like
Yeah,
it.
and this is one of those things as well, is that this would only work. It's not something that you could really fluff in that this could only work if you manage to finish it. So it's a bit of a bold move to build something like this because obviously you have like all the faces. Like,
Yeah.
This definitely feels complete. This probably feels like the most finished one so far. I'm not seeing
I'd
any-
agree with you on that one actually. Yeah. You can sort of go, look, there you go. Everything here makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the last
There's
one
no
came very close to that as well, though. Just the interiors of the temple was maybe a little bit lacking.
Yeah.
You know,
But no,
this is
this
a
is
weird
definitely-
thing right here. Have you guys seen this glowing block underneath the
That's
half
what
slab?
I saw that. I didn't really know what it was. Maybe it's meant to be like, I don't know. There seems to be some skulls here as well.
Maybe it's like where you put like a bag of sand to be weighed.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then it will change something. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
what it would do. It would close up this cave underneath here so the river would sweep over us.
It'd
And
fill up,
maybe-
it'd fill up
flee.
and then flow over here. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
I'm
this.
good with what we've seen here.
Yeah.
If we want to move on. All right, are we
That
ready to
sounds
go
good
to
to
the
me.
next one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. I think
Okay.
we've spent about 5 minutes in each one so far, which is good. We've got 2 more
Yeah.
to go. Black and then Cyan, so we'll do the black one.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, it didn't bring you over here yet, Mumbo. There we go. Oh! Oh, that's something.
Wow, this is taking a completely different approach.
Well,
mean,
I heard something. Oh, that's a lot of heads collected.
This
Now-
one says, "Look deep within, and you too can ascend."
He's got a beacon as well. How's he pulled that off?
I've got a feeling that maybe some of these supplies you can get out there in the world, because look at how many slime
Right.
blocks there are as well. I've got a feeling that
Yeah.
perhaps when it comes to materials, maybe it shouldn't be a factor, because if they got a beacon, I doubt they fought the Wither.
No. Plus, there's a lot of wither skulls, so I'm guessing. I don't know. We don't know. I think it's quite obvious who this one would be.
Yeah, I have a little bit of insider knowledge, okay?
Right.
After it happened, there was a little bit of discussion from Ren and Doc saying that theirs was basically appalling. Now,
Right.
unless Iskall or someone else was inspired to put a sword through Ren's head, I'm guessing that this is Ren and Doc's plot, right? And so, with their attempt failing, they went for a comedic approach, which is not a bad idea at all.
I like that. Yeah.
It's certainly
Well-
got
Right,
the
I
giggles
see.
out of me.
Yeah.
Is the theme ruins? Because if this is like individual ruination, I mean that's about right. We saw a ruined town, we saw 2 ruined temples. Now we witness a ruined man.
Oh, maybe there was like a global theme. Yeah.
Oh, it was ruins. Yeah, it was ruins. The theme was ruins.
I'm looking inside Ren's brain and all I see is cobwebs.
Well,
Wait,
I
did they actually
appreciate
put
the
cobwebs
touch.
in there?
I
They did.
appreciate the fact
There's
that they've
parrots.
actually taken the time to put the cobwebs in there.
There's
Yeah,
parrots
that's
in
brilliant. And
Is there?
parrots?
here. Yeah. They got 3 parrots and a lot of cobwebs. So that's how
That's
Ren's
cool.
brain works. There's just parrots that tell him what to say.
Yeah. And then so it says it down at the bottom here. Ren ruined us. The end. Do you reckon that's a salty doc?
Yeah, that probably is.
He's like,
I think there's some definite merit for salvaging this with some comedy and making something that is pretty cool to look at. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think if we were to take it seriously, this one would fall behind the others a fair bit. But it's cool.
yeah, potentially. It's very cool anyway. It's pretty cool. All right, sure. Are we gonna head through into the next one now? Is it ready to
Let's
go?
do it. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's just one left to go now. That is
Yep,
the
we're on
Cyan
the
one
last
over
one.
here.
And then, I mean, I'm trying to remember all of the different designs. I think I've got them all in my head.
Remember, we can
If not,
always we can always pop back
Pop back
on.
through.
Yeah, and have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are. Whoa.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'm
This is pretty
liking-
cool.
Yeah, I'm liking that there's 2 things to focus on.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
And this is a beautiful structure. Like, this is a really good structure. It has such a nice shape to it. It has tons of different, like, tiers to it. I wouldn't be able to pull something like that off if you gave me, like, 50 hours. I would never be able to build something like that. So this is cool.
Yeah,
I've got
I'm
Cubfan's
really.
head on the inside.
Oh, I think I know who it is now. I was trying to think who would have built this one, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, Cub and Scar. I could totally see building something like this. It's
Yeah.
It's got Scar's, ability to build trees and structures, and it's got Cub's like use of like vivid colours getting chucked in here. Like you got some nether warts mixed in, and nether wart
Yeah.
blocks. That's a very Cub fan thing to be bold with those bright colours.
You make a good point about the trees. I hadn't even noticed
They're gorgeous.
these trees. These trees.
That's why you didn't
these
notice
are
them, because they
amazing.
look entirely gorgeous.
Yeah. Can you imagine if real Minecraft trees actually look like this? That would make the game so crazy.
It
So
would,
cool.
yeah. They could certainly take some lessons from what other people have done with their
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Then again, do you think it might be difficult though for like someone getting into it? If like villages were like gorgeous buildings with amazing trees around them, it could get a little bit daunting to try and start building when the
True,
when the
true.
bar's been set so high.
Also, you wouldn't even want to build anything. You'd be like, I'm just gonna live in the village. The village is great. I'm
That's
happy
it.
with this.
Yeah, I'm tempted
This
to
is
press
cool.
this button, but I think it will dispense the cactus and the sand down below.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it if you can avoid it. I don't know. I gotta say, I like how this is kind of showing two distinct types of ruin.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
we
that's what I
have
liked.
a dry ruin and we have a jungle ruin, a moist ruin. And dividing them with the river is interesting. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about this that I enjoy.
Should we deduct points because it's completely impossible for these two to be this close to one another in
Oh no, that can happen. Oh, do you mean like structures can't be that
No,
close
I just
to
mean
each
in
other?
real life. If you couldn't have you couldn't have like a jungle, lovely, luscious, bright
ya.
green area, and then a desert directly opposite, separated by a river. But
I think they should be able to, do something like that. It's
Yeah.
Minecraft after all.
you can suspend disbelief. You can
The
suspend
only
disbelief. it's
place
fine.
I think this plot falls short is that it doesn't try and fill up the entire space. Like,
Yeah.
this is nice to look at, but you got to sort of focus in and get close to it for it to kind of, the space around it kind of detracts from it in a way. But you can see they had
Yeah.
trouble with that with the desert because they've sort of filled it up almost all the way on one side, but not on the other.
Yeah, I think they kind of what we have to take into account here is that this is hugely ambitious to try and pull off in survival mode in a time limit.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, to be able to have actually gone as far as they did is pretty impressive. But no, I agree. Maybe they were almost too ambitious, and that was kind of a little bit their downfall.
If
in a
they
way,
were
that
too
they're-
ambitious here, they definitely got the main buildings built, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. The buildings themselves don't look unfinished. They look done.
Yeah,
But
they
it's
do.
just the surrounding area, unfortunately, isn't quite so good.
All right then, we've seen all the builds. I think we
Yep.
put our heads together, we take a break from recording, figure out what our scores are going to be, and then we come
Yep.
back in.
All right,
Seems
that sounds good to
reasonable.
me.
Okay, we've all given all of the plots a score between 1 and 10. We've added all of the extra points they get for having player heads, and now we're going to go through the plots in reverse order. This one right here has actually finished last, which is kind of surprising, with 31 points. I think where they fell short is that they only got 8 player heads, and
Yeah,
some of the other
yeah.
teams managed to get quite a few more. So me and Mumbo both gave this one an 8. I think this is sort of, a pretty well-rounded plot. The only place I think they fell short on was the interior. For me, if the interior had been more decorated, this would have been a 9. Mumbo?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It was just a tiny bit. It was just missing like the tiniest little finishing touches, and it's obviously because they ran out of time. But no, it was a really good build though. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And Joe, you gave this one a 7.
I did. I love it. It's just I've judged a lot of build competitions, and most of them involve small children. This is ludicrously better than what most small children would build. However, other hermits on the server had some builds that I felt were a little bit better. Like, this is way better than what I could make, but unfortunately, I wasn't competing. They were competing against a lot of talented hermits.
Yeah.
That's fair
I
and
like that.
reasonable. If we head back to the mainland, we'll go to joint 4th. We've got two ones here. Blue and black are joint 4th. So blue was the very first one that we looked at.
Well, actually,
Okay.
they'd be joint third at that point.
Oh yeah, of course they would. Right.
Yeah. Join
Yeah,
third.
I'm looking at it in reverse, but yeah, you're right. So me and Mumbo both gave this one a 7.
Yeah.
My reasoning would be that I think when you stand here, this one is really good. It really sort of sucks you in, but it loses points with just how bare it is from the outside. Like, it really kind of dispels the atmosphere for me.
Yeah. for sure. Like it just, and I get that they've almost. I feel like they've almost tried to get away with it by calling it a movie set piece.
That
It's
was
like
that was a good idea, I think. You know.
yeah, no, it's really smart, but it's not fooling me. I think that there's a chance that yeah, it was a bit of a big ambitious project, and although it looks really cool and the details are nice, it just doesn't quite have the scale that some of the other builds have had.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah.
sure. Mumbo, sorry, Joe, you gave this one a 6?
I love it architecturally, but if you're going to make something a movie set, it has to have a story to it. I come in here and I'm trying to figure out what is the plot, what is the action, what is the camera going to show, how do actors move through this space, and I just don't see it communicated clearly. This is a great set for something, but it's not something that my imagination can latch onto without additional cues.
I agree with that as well. That's one of the things
That's
that crossed my mind was like, this is cool, but like, what is it and where is it?
yeah.
So that's 32 points in total. If we head back, the
Okay.
next one is 32 points as well, which is Ren's. Now, I expected this one to be dead last. Mumbo, you and
That's a
me
bit
have a
mean.
habit of voting the same score. I gave this one
Yep.
a 5. You gave it a 5. I'll let you explain this time first.
I mean, like it definitely had its I wasn't obviously 5 seemed like the right score for it just because it gave us a reaction as we came through, and that's what this game's all about. Sometimes you don't have to build the most serious things. This made us feel something when we first saw it. It may not have been awe and amazement and taking a look at all the beautiful details in it, but it definitely is an impressive build, and it's quite cool. And it's a fun one to look at. So I think that's personally why I chose the 5.
For me,
How about you?
For me, the 5, it was a save. It was a really good save, but it was still a save from a calamity of some sort. I mean, that's based on what they've said. They called it a calamity. So, Joe, you gave this one an 8.
It expresses ruination in many ways. First, we have multiple of the traditional humors. We have blood, and we also
Blood
have
is-
like bile or something here, In addition, we have both the ruination of a man, but if you come over here, there's a nice little sign here that says, not to be viewed from here. They have not only ruined a man, but they have ruined an entire space. 1/4 of this area is not ignored. It's ruined. Like, other people just left some gaps. These guys wrecked that. And I think that's exploration of the theme should be rewarded. So that was why I gave it an 8.
Yeah, you are the comedian of the group, so it makes sense that you would see much more in the comedic value of it. Also, how is Blood like a traditional comedy?
No, it's not. No, it's not a comedy. It's a humor.
A humour, that's what you said.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Humors. Blood, bile, ichor, and what's the other one? It's like
remember
old
now.
Greek medicine. Like, I'm not Galen, so I don't know them by heart.
Ah, so
But that's a good. I've forgotten it. Yeah, you've got a good point there. That's funny. Yeah, I
Fair
haven't
enough.
even thought of that. Obviously, only your mind would go there. So, yeah.
So they got 14 skulls, which made a huge difference to the score as well. They got the most out of everyone, so it's tight margins, and that kind of pulled them up to the black team. No, sorry, the
Yep.
blue team.
Yeah.
So they got 32 points as well, tied third, as Joe said. And now we're going to Cyan, which was over this side.
Okay, so this is second place, which I guess reveals the winner.
It does, yeah, it does reveal the winner.
If you can remember the colours. I can't remember the colours, but I can
Magenta
remember
was
the
the
build.
winner, but we know the build, yeah. So I gave this one
Yeah.
an 8. I think I kind of already stated like where it fell short for me, just that it didn't try to spread out across the plot a bit more. The builds are
Yeah.
fantastic, but you kind of have to focus in on the square around them. They don't take up much more space than where they are. Mumbo, you gave this one a 9.
Yeah, those trees, the builds are stunning, and I just feel like they were super ambitious with it. It was a big move to go for something like this. And although it's a shame, I would have given it a 10 if they had filled the entire area. But I didn't feel like detracting too much from them because I just feel like these projects are so ambitious that there's no way they would have been able to fill the full plot. So these are 2 super cool builds.
And Joe, you gave this one a 9 as well.
It has all of the things I liked about the last one we looked at. It's got this sense of duality. We've got decay and desiccation on the one side, and then we've got creeping new life on the other with the jungle. And that sort of duality, I think, really speaks to us about the varied nature of ruin. We're not all ruined the same way. We're all ruined in different ways. And this has that message, but it's also really well constructed. So that was why it was a 9 for me.
I like the deep insights there. That's
I was
great.
gonna say this is much. We're just talking about they haven't placed these blocks properly and blah 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 blah, and then Joe Hills comes in
Yeah.
with far more deeper meaning into it.
Well,
which is very
that's
cool.
why we have diversity in our panel here. It's a strength.
Yeah.
So they got 10 heads, which gives them a total of 36 points. If we go over to the next one, which by the way they got 11 heads and they won with 1 more point. So Magenta has won with 37.
Yep.
I voted a 9 for this one. This would have been my closest to a 10. The thing that does it for me with this plot, is just how you feel like you know what it is. I think that's what the blue plot struggled with a little bit. It was a movie set, but you weren't quite sure what the movie was. Here, it's Indiana Jones, it's Tomb Raider. There's the face over there. The pumpkin kind of makes it feel like it might be alive. You've got faces in the wall. There's just a lot of stuff here that really gives you a sense of what this is beyond what you can see. What you can interpret, and I really liked that. Mumbo, you gave it a 9 as well.
Yeah, I really like the sense of depth that you get, especially if you're walking along these areas here and you're kind of passing behind the pillars. You just get a really nice feeling of you're kind of moving through a 3D space. There's lots of layers to it. There's lots going on. I like it. This is by far, this was on par with the previous one for me, but I'm really happy that it won. It's a really cool build.
And Joe, you gave it an 8.
I did give it an 8. I love it from a technical standpoint. Everything you guys said about that was positive. I completely agree with. It didn't make me question anything, which is something that you gave it points for. You're like, I understand what this is, but I like my art to challenge me, or and this is just good. It's great, and that's great for it, but it wasn't worth the 9 to me because it didn't really make me question anything or struggle.
There was a lack of mystery. It was all solved for you.
Yeah, exactly. But you couldn't have laid it out more beautifully, and I'm glad they won. I think it's a great build, but that was just the reasoning behind my particular scoring.
And so with 11 heads, they got a total of 37, and also very nearly maybe could have perhaps lost because we only saw 2 heads here, and we had to go through the chests and fish them all out and then put them into an individual chest. So, I mean, that's a thing, but we tried to check every nook and cranny to make sure we'd discovered every head, and we did that.
Yeah.
And so I think we have judged fairly, and I guess we conclude it with Magenta team are the winners.
Congratulations, guy. You did a brilliant job. I now need to find out who actually built this because I'm not 100% certain and give them an actual congratulations. But yeah, this is brilliant work.
Indeed. That's a great note to end on, I think. So thanks everyone for watching. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but if you don't know what the UHB is, there's a whole series of people putting these builds together. Probably not so relevant now, but that stuff will be found in the description box. Yeah, bad time to mention it. Joe?
Joe? I agree with you, Asuma. It's a great time to pause this video and go watch all of those before you hear us say goodbye.
Yeah.
Until next time, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys.
See you later.
All soon. Bye-bye.